Thank you for joining Wars of the Roses as we continue with part 15, From Square to Compass, from Bible to Qur'an, from Freemasonry, Ancient Egypt, and the Islamic Destiny by Mustafa El-Amin. Chapter 15, From Square to Compass, from Bible to Qur'an. In the 32nd degree of Masonry, we find these words: I have passed from the square to the compass. We have explained that the square is symbolic of the physical, and the compass or circle represents the spiritual. Moving from the square to the compass means raising above or gaining control of one's physical appetites and desires. Some people are only concerned with material things. The wise person seeks higher things. The square is represented by the number 4 and the circle by the number 5. As we have mentioned, the 32nd degree Mason can become a Shriner, and as a Shriner he learns about the square and a circle, the Kaaba. Passing from the square to the compass, or the circle, because the compass is used to draw circles, not squares, represents the growth from the Bible to the Quran. More specifically, it alludes to the progressive movement from the 4 books of the New Testament to the Quran. The Bible, New Testament, represents the square. The 4 books symbolize the square or material. The Bible says Jesus was crucified on a cross, which points in 4 directions. The Bible says Jesus was buried in the material earth. After Jesus and the Bible came Muhammad and the Quran. The Prophet Muhammad received 5 ayats. The first revelation of the Quran consisted of 5 ayats. The revelation came from the highest authority, Allah, the Creator. Symbolically, it would represent the circle or spiritual consciousness. The circle alludes to God consciousness, what is called in Islam taqwa. The Quran established 5. There are 5 obligatory prayers. The prayers must be made 5 times a day. There are 5 pillars of Islam. The human being has 5 senses. Therefore, moving from the square to the compass hints at the stage of development from the 4 to the 5, from the Bible, New Testament, to the Quran. This is reflected in the shrine house. Before the Mason becomes a Shriner, he sees on the altar a square and a compass. But once he becomes a Shriner, he does not see that on the altar. It is replaced by the Bible and the Quran. Why? Because it represents the same thing more intensified. In the Shriners' meetings, the Bible and Quran are used instead of the square and the compass. Just as the compass and square are rearranged, the Bible and Quran are rearranged also. In the lower degrees, the compass is under the square. Then it is later rearranged so that the compass is above the square. In the Shriners' meeting, the Bible and Quran are first situated next to one another. Then they are rearranged so that the Bible is in front of the Quran, which means that the Bible or New Testament was revealed before the Quran. It means that after the Bible came the Quran. After Jesus came Muhammad, the Comforter. The Quran says Muhammad was a free man in the city. The Quran and Bible on the altar represents the equal respect that is due both books and both prophets, Jesus and Muhammad. The Shriners are aware of the teachings or sayings of Muhammad concerning he and Jesus. It is reported that Prophet Muhammad said that he and Jesus would be together in the last days. The Bible represents Jesus, and the Quran represents Muhammad. It is reported that Aisha said the Prophet was the Quran walking and living. The Bible says Jesus represented the Word or the New Testament itself. The Bible being placed in front of the Quran alludes to the stage of progress. Jesus came before Muhammad. A close examination of the Mason's 33-degree system and the Shriner's order reveals that it represents the growth from Jesus' death to Muhammad's life. The wise and those who established this America, those who framed the Constitution, were influenced by the Quran and the Bible. As we pointed out, the early founders of this country were Masons. Many of the leaders of this society know the great place and value of the Quran in the life of man. However, they don't trust the intelligence of the masses enough to reveal this fact. Many good Christians would probably be heartbroken if they knew the great respect that is given to the Quran, Prophet Muhammad, and the religion of Islam by their leaders in secret. Many reverends have taken an oath on the Quran and have the Quran in their homes. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe and comment, and if you can please consider donating to Wars of the Roses. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.